So my name is Akeim Mundell. I'm 28 years old. I'm born and bred from Manchester. I've done 8 years in primary where I started as a teaching assistant and then I done my teacher training on the job. Sometimes we tend to pitch to the young people and to make out like they have to follow the traditional route. I didn't follow the traditional route. I left from high school at 16 and then went straight into work, into employment. My old primary school head teacher contacted me and just said, look, we've got a teaching assistant job going. Because of your experience, and which I'll go into in a moment, we want you to apply for this job and then we will fund you to do your teacher training. I transitioned into secondary in 2018 as pastoral leader. I then became head of year, lead pastoral manager, and then this year I moved to a new school as assistant principal. I've got a board and I've got a mind map of where I want to be in life. And my aim is obviously to become a head one day. And I've always said by 30, I need to try and secure an assistant principal role. And I remember pouring out my heart over LinkedIn about a year ago. And I was saying, trying to connect. I was speaking about my experience and I was saying if there's any schools out there. And I remember getting quite a lot of slack, people coming back to me saying, oh, you're only young, saying you want to be an AP by 30 isn't the right thing to do. I remember approaching a school who actually had an assistant principal role. And I remember asking for feedback in regards to why I wasn't invited to interview because I was really concerned about it. And the feedback that I got was because I was young. Just sharing a little bit about community. Community is the heart of me. Everything that I do is to benefit my community. Do you think it's important for a school to have a role within the community? It might be yes, it might be no, and why?
I think if you look at all human civilization, any successful human civilization, I think the school, or more broadly, the educational institution, is a fundamental pillar of human civilization. The same way hospitals are, the same way the provision of food through farming and supermarkets are.
I think the answer obviously is yes, but I think post-COVID, during COVID, really highlighted that, for me at least, in terms of, we had a lot of kids on free school meals. They couldn't get their food if they're not coming to school, but even just on the interaction side of things, like a lot of our kids have come back and struggle with interacting with each other because it's just all online. And that really highlighted, school isn't just maths, English, science, history, it is how do I learn to interact with people my age, younger than me, above me.
In my last school was at the end of my street. My new school, my front door and the school's front door are facing each other. Yes, I'm still late every day, that's okay. But I love that. And I remember speaking in a staff meeting last week and I was saying to everyone, I live across the road. And everyone's like laughing. I was saying, no, I actually do. Yeah. And then somebody made a comment and one of my colleagues said, that's the worst thing I could ever think of. And I said, the worst thing? I said, that's the best thing that I could think of. Not about the commute, it's the fact that when I'm putting out my bins, I'm seeing students. When I'm running out with my do-rag on and with my dressing gown, I'm seeing the students. But it's okay because they get to see that we're human. It's not a 9 till 5. Yeah, you don't switch off. If a student is in need, then we need to be that point of call for those young people.
It takes a village to raise a child, and that's
Definitely.
where honestly, you're going back to that, and it's amazing.
On your board, being a local council, is that part of your vision?
I've considered it, but it's not on the board. But I have thought about that, to be honest. Thank you for putting it back in the head. I appreciate it. Peace and love, everyone. It's all good to see you as well.